Hello, and I thought I'd just drop in. It's been a huge week with eclipses, and we've got another eclipse coming up on the 20, in a couple of days, I believe, around the full moon, the 27th, I think. So it's really been the week of the eclipses, and yeah, really an opportunity to shift some deep patterns. Charlene, love to see you here. Thank you for showing up on my live. So, yeah, I wanted to share about my week briefly and talk about some tips. Out of my week has come some. I love to see you here, Michelle. Out of my week has come some shifts and breakthroughs around sensitivity and some tips and suggestions to share with you. And then wanting to share, I've really been working with the energy of divine love to transmute negative energies, and that's been lovely to see you, and that's been really helpful. So yeah, just wanting to share, connect, come together and share some tips and suggestions, because I find that for me, when I go through things and learn things, and I believe that all our experiences are for our learning. So for me, when I go through various experiences, I like to bring something back from that and share it, so it becomes even more resourceful and useful. Even if the experience was challenging at the time, we can find something resourceful and useful to share in some way. So that's what I like to do. So for me, I've been talking about this, starting our new group. It has a very our new group, Dimensional Healing Community, for Nikki and I both, has been a huge energy shift. The energy of that group and the work we're being called to do there feels really big, and as a sensitive person, that's energy has been just running through my nervous system and activating a lot of things. And as a sensitive person, that's a challenge. Our sensitivity is both our gift and often our challenge, because for me, it's through my sensitivity that I'm really good at my work, and it gives me lots of information to tune in to what's going on for people, to tune in intuitively, to feel and sense into people's energy field. That's my sensitivity that helps me to really be good at what I do. And I'm sure that's true for many of you, that you're sensitive, and that's so useful to you for tuning in to things in all the unique ways that we do. And the other side of that is my sensitivity is so high that creates distress in my nervous system. So always find, and when I've increased, so stepping into situations that are more being out there more, like for sensitive people who are here to share our gifts with the world, work with people, be visible and put ourselves out there in a bigger way. Managing sensitivity is key, because otherwise we'll tend to hide, we'll tend to not do it because it's just too uncomfortable. I've certainly felt at times during the week that it was so challenging. Just wondering how to manage it, because it's just been so challenging. But I've so conditioned myself to just keep moving forward anyway, that I just move through things and find solutions. So what I found was this week, one of the key things was learning to really step back. Now I sort of knew this, but it just became so clear this week that I think people are sensitive in different ways. I understand that. For me, my sensitivity is very tied in with my feeling nature, because I'm a very feeling person. So I think that's true for many empathic people. We feel things too, quite strongly. We feel other people's emotions, we feel things, and the emotion is tied in with sensitivity. So what I began to notice is that when I could step back emotionally from what was going on, I realized that this was the pattern for me that I'd created from birth, was just feeling overwhelmed because of my sensitivity with all the things that I would feel from my environment. Even from in the womb, I had very intense experiences of overload of emotions. And lovely to see you here, Naomi. So just speaking about sensitivity and how that relates to emotions and stepping back emotionally, because it's been a real aha moment for me this week with that. That one of the keys, you know, not everyone may see this link straight away, but for me, I really get that one of the reasons that, as you know, tying in sensitivity and being empathic, one of the reasons we feel so much from other people in our environment is that we're often very feeling people and you know, very heart-centered, caring, loving people, and we feel things so much and we care so much, and that's lovely. But the thing is that you know, we can really struggle with boundaries, and then that opens us up more. So I realized for me this had been a pattern since really in the womb, and I see this with many sensitive people, of really feeling overloaded by the sensitivity and the emotional component of that. And then when we're in that emotional and sensory overload, we can't shut it down very well. So this is what I realized was happening a lot. And so I sort of had some insights and realized that was where it was coming from. That was the root of it. And when we find, this is why I actually worked with timeline therapy. That's one of my favorite techniques, where you go back to the cause, whether that's in this life or another life, and you go above the situation. So I went back to when I was born, and before I was born, when I was in the womb, and just I recalibrated my experience. So I really got some learnings and insights about that from going back above the experience and observing it, and realizing often in circumstances, in situations that are like root cause of things, we have made decisions about life. So I made decisions in the womb about life that I couldn't do anything about, all the information and emotional stuff that I was feeling. I couldn't protect myself from it. I couldn't do anything about it. And what I realized was it wasn't true. I was just being overloaded, feeling overloaded because of my sensitivity by all the input from the environment and from my mother, and it was too much. And so, Rajnita, lovely to see you here. So what I did in that moment was realize that I had always said to myself that I couldn't, I'd always believed, and we form beliefs in situations, I always believed that I couldn't, that's just how it was, that I couldn't change that. And I realized in that moment that wasn't true. I realized in that moment that what I could do, even as a baby in the womb, I could call in divine love. Because of course I wasn't just a baby in the womb, I'm an old soul, as many of you are, you know, if not all of you, that I had all those resources. Just because of my sensitivity, because of feeling overwhelmed by sensory input and emotions, I wasn't being resourceful. And I realized that I could surround myself with divine love energy. And that shifted everything. It started to shift in my nervous system and my brain. So that's what I've been working with all week, is reprogramming my brain and my nervous system back to in the womb, to like changing that whole experience, creating new neural pathways, changing in my nervous, recalibrating my nervous system with divine love. And wow, so wanting to share that with you, wanting to do an activation and share that with you. I hope that's making sense for you. That so my point is that we can have tools and strategies to change our experience. That often we think something is how it is. People can think, I'm sensitive, therefore, you know, I feel overwhelmed and overloaded by information, therefore I can't do anything about that. That's what I thought from in the womb, but it's not true. The thing is, it's not true. Everything is a belief and a perception. And when we find a new way of believing it, we realize it doesn't have to be like that. So when I started working with that divine love energy, I felt, and I also began during the week to step back emotionally from things. Finding ways to step back emotionally, that's been a really big learning for me. So again, probably quite subtle to explain how to step back emotionally. Joanna, lovely to see you here. How wonderful you could make it live. So talking about as a sensitive person, the link between being sensitive and empathic and emotions. And I found for me, and I've been learning this especially over the last year or so, that my sensitivity is so much worse, my challenge worse in a negative sense and a problem, and having boundaries is much more of a problem. Oh, I love that, Charlene. I love that this resonates with you. Yes, beautiful. Because the eclipse is bringing stuff up for people so much, and that can make us more sensitive. So yeah, I'm glad this is useful. So what I've been realizing is I can change this situation of feeling overwhelmed emotionally and with having difficulty having boundaries. It's a lot to do with emotions. So when I can step back emotionally from a situation, so I'm saying sensitivity for many of us may be tied up with emotions. And yeah, I know, I love this. I thought I'd do a live at night because actually there's quite a few people in the UK and Europe in my community, and the lives in the middle of the day don't work well for them. You know, even, I mean, I'm in Australia and this is the evening, so it's a good time for people too. So yeah, speaking about learning to step back emotionally, this has been big for me, big breakthroughs with my sensitivity, with being able to actually see what's going on and just feel not overwhelmed or in the energy. So my sensitivity I found so much worse, and I'm just in the energy of something, if that makes sense. I'm in the energy of it, being affected by it. And that's what I've been doing my whole life, and, you know, shielding myself from that. But it works to a point, but it's hard work. But when I'm stepping back emotionally, when I'm finding ways to step back emotionally, I'm going to share some tips for that. I'm noticing that I can manage my sensitivity better, that I have a perspective, that things are clearer energetically and with my sensitivity. You know, I can have boundaries better when I'm stepping back emotionally, if that makes sense. So one of the ways that I've been doing that is actually with surrounding myself with divine love. And that's what I'm going to do with the activation. Some of the other techniques I've been using are cutting cords. It's so important. So selenite, using selenite. I have a selenite wand. Selenite makes it so much easier to cut cords because it actually It cuts cords really well. Now, we have cords. We create cords often, or people create cords with us, with the people that we interact with. Now, imagine I'm a sensitive person. I'm doing lots of lives, connecting with lots of people. And, you know, most of us are in our day in work environments, you know, unless you're at home by yourself, you probably are not speaking to anyone. You're probably, you know, having cords and connections happening that are not for your benefit. So cords are energetic connections with people, and as I understand it, they create like an energy link with people. And what I find and what I believe is that this is not beneficial. It's not necessary. We can connect with people just through our heart. Okay, of course we want to feel connected with people, but when we have lots of cords, it's often draining, and it's allowing energy running between people in ways that it's not beneficial. We pick up on all, so for me, because I'm so sensitive, when and people do create cords with me often, to feel supported, connected, whatever, that I feel everything around people. I feel all the energies around them. Obviously too much, not working well for me. So cutting cords is helpful. So the reason we create cords is only for one reason. What the function of cords is between a mother and a child. This is the only reason, honestly, for cords to be useful. The purpose of cords is that connection between a mother and a baby, a small baby, so you know what's going on with the baby and you can tune in. That's the usefulness of cords, when cords are useful. I'm wondering if you can actually see me well, because the writing from the messages gets in the way, not sure, so I can change that a little bit. Okay, so cords. So what's happening is people are forming different types of cords. Okay, Charlene. So yeah, look, people don't understand. A lot of the cords are formed unconsciously, just when people want to feel supported and, like, I guess in a sense, pull on your energy and things like that. But then often it's unconscious. Yeah, some cords can be controlling and manipulative. That's different. There's different types of cords. But I find, as a sensitive person, keeping my energy clear, cutting cords is very helpful, because there actually is no need for the cords. You know, if for me, doing my work, what I realized was that if I let people create cords with me and didn't cut cords, I would only be able to help a small amount of people, because my energy would just be so drained and depleted, because I'm so sensitive. And I actually want to help a lot of people. So yeah, as we strengthen our energy field, probably people can't create cords so easily. But it's been a problem for me, and I think it's a problem for many people, that people unconsciously create cords. And the thing is that people don't need to get energy in that way from another person. Everyone can get energy directly, as much energy as you want from divine creator, from divine source. It's not limited. That's where we're meant to get energy from, not pull on other people's energy like this. Yeah. So cutting cords, first suggestion is cutting cords. Try it and see, you know, at least in the morning and the evening, just cutting cords. You don't even have to know who the cords are with. You can just ask. I do use a pendulum a lot to ask, you know, how many cords do I need to cut? Or that's often helpful, to just know how many cords I need to cut, and just cut them. And it feels so much clearer and freer to cut cords well. So I use the selenite to cut cords. So if you've just joined me, I'm just speaking about some suggestions for assisting managing sensitivity. So first suggestion, cord cutting. Second suggestion that's been really awesome is, see, one of the reasons that we're sensitive and empathic is like, well, for me it is, and I think it is for a lot of people, is like a survival thing. So my sensitivity tells me what's going on all the time with people, in my environment. It's very attuned, but it's too much. My sensitivity is so high. So what I've been doing, when I feel something from someone, I go, okay, thank you for that information. And then I imagine a dial. I have a dial, like a round dial with numbers on, and I can turn it down. I go, okay, because I don't need to keep feeling that. I imagine I have a dial and I can just turn the sensitivity down. So I've been practicing it. Whenever I'm feeling exactly, Joanna. Exactly. People don't realize, they don't mean to, but it's massively draining emotionally and beautiful. I love that you're realizing that too, stepping back. It's so important. Exactly. People don't mean it, but it can be hugely draining, and this affects especially sensitive people so much, all the cords. I mean, especially when you're very, you know, many sensitive people are very loving, and we want to love people and help people and connect with people. And we can do that when we look after our energy. Otherwise, we're just going to be drained and have nothing left. We can't give well from emptiness. We can give well from fullness. So, you know, this is what I learned. I learned this being a mother of 3 small children, giving to myself first, filling myself up, then I could be a good mother to my children and give to them, giving to them from fullness, not depleting myself and getting angry and upset, just filling myself up and then giving to them. And with clients too, the same thing. I start my day with filling my own energy up. Then I give to my clients, give to the community. I love giving to people, but I can't do it if I'm depleted and drained. So yeah, cutting cords, turning the dial down, it's been amazing. So because my sensitivity is so high, I'll pick up things from, you know, from people that I just have a brief interaction with, or people that I talk to, people that I message, people, you know, I pick up things all the time. Okay, it's information. I just say thank you, and then I turn the dial down because I don't need to. I just ask, is there anything I need to do with this? Is there any, you know? Okay, and I just have a look what I need to do with that information. Then I turn the dial down. I've been practicing turning the dial of my sensitivity down for that situation, that person, just to teach my nervous system, to teach my, we can retrain, we can recalibrate our brain and our energy. So I've been training my sensitivity, turn down. You don't need to be that aware of everything. It's too much. It's working well. So a dial, we can use a dial and turn the sensitivity down. Okay. Breathing's so important. So not sure if, so for me, the messages are quite in front of my face. So not sure if that's so for you as well. So I don't think so. I don't think people can see the messages, but yeah. So the other technique, breathing. Breathing is so important. Breathing and mindfulness. So when you breathe, especially with the emotions too, to sort of come to a more neutral emotional place and step back, breathing is so useful. Because when we breathe fully and deeply, we can just let things go more easily and not get caught up. So keeping the breath. Okay, you can listen later to the replay, Charlene. Wonderful. Thanks for letting me know. So, breathing is really helpful. Keeping the breath open. The breath really connects a lot with the emotions. So, the more you can keep your breathing just in a slower, fuller rhythm, it's a good way of being an anchor, and mindfulness is breathing to really help with sensitivity and emotions. So I'm saying that stepping back, I'm talking about stepping back emotionally helps with sensitivity, because you have a perspective. You're not in the energy, in the emotions. You're not getting overwhelmed by all the input when you can step back. Stepping back is really an internal thing, but there's techniques that you can use. So breathing helps you to step back, because you can just focus on your breathing. Nice, slow, deep breath. And it really helps with stepping back, because when we step back, we can actually see what's going on better and have a perspective, see how to deal with things, how to manage things, and we're not getting stressed and overwhelmed emotionally or energetically. I do walk a lot. Again, actually, when you're walking, you're breathing as well. Obviously, your breathing sort of slows down and evens out when you're walking. You know, walking really gives me a perspective. Mantra, I do use mantra quite a bit, because it gives a focus to the mind. Again, similar like the breathing, you can just use a mantra, repeat something, and it helps you to step back. So practicing all these tools, I can really feel a huge difference. It's like my energy is more in integrity with itself. I'm not so affected by everything, because my energy is just sitting better, and it's more peaceful, and you know, just flowing nicely, replenishing itself. And you know, from that place, I feel more centered, I feel more clear, I can help people better. You know, I can connect with people more clearly, not out of a really, and I think for many sensitive people, you know, how to just be in our own energy. So that's what I'm talking about, how to just be in your own energy instead of being in the energy of other people. And these are techniques to help with that. So that's what I'm calling stepping back and just being in your own energy, just stepping back emotionally, quietening down. I've also been using essential oils. You know, they're all tools that can help. I've been particularly using frankincense. So frankincense really helps too. I put frankincense on the third eye, on the crown. Yeah, I can share the mantras. So yeah, I can do that now. I'm happy to do that. I just thought I'm always talking about mantras and sharing them, but I'm happy to share one another time. Yeah, so actually the mantra that I've been working with this week was suggested by Rajnita, and I have worked with this mantra before, and at different times, and it's a very helpful mantra. So this is a great one to start with, because it brings a lot of peace. And also Rajnita explained that this mantra really helps to cut ties and just be in your own energy. So this is a great mantra. So Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And you can speak mantras or you can chant them. And if you look that up on YouTube, you'll find there's some lovely versions. I really love Deva Premal's version of mantras. Her voice is beautiful, and her the way that she chants mantras is so lovely. So they can be spoken and they can be chanted. David Pramal's way of chanting mantras is so beautiful. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva is the god of really consciousness and just simply of helping us to release things we no longer need. So that's been really helpful this week, helping me to release things I no longer need, including emotions and, you know, ties to people, things really cleansing and releasing and letting go. That mantra's been helping me. So that's a great mantra. Shorter mantras are good. The other one I really like is Eheye, Asher Eheye. I can write these under the video when I finish too, so that'll be clear and simple. So Eheye, Asher Eheye means I am that I am, which is obviously, so you could say that in English. Why do we use mantras in other languages? Because these ancient languages have a power. The sounds are more powerful and they are more beneficial. I think this has actually been tested. If you chant these mantras, they create patterns. I think it was tested with, they could create patterns in sound, in sand. You could actually see the pattern. They can create patterns, very harmonious patterns, the sounds that you don't get in English. So you can actually scientifically see this, that they create very harmonious patterns, the ancient sounds. So Eheye, Asher Eheye means I am that I am. I find this mantra very helpful to cleanse the energy field. It helps to just come into your own energy, which is what I'm talking about. I usually say mantras 33 times. You're welcome. Yep. Yes, I can do that. I'll just put a note for myself, Joanna, and I can put, I'm very fussy about what I share of other people's material in the group, because the, some of the sources are not pure energy, not clear energy, so it's a problem. So I'm really fussy what I listen to and what I share. So if I recommend something, I've tested that that's a really good, clean, pure source of that mantra or prayer or whatever I share. So David Pramal, I'll share her mantras, Om Namah Shivaya. That's a very simple one. And Eheye, Asher Eheye. I'll see if I can find something with that on YouTube that feels good, and share that too. I can share links to the YouTube. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh is another one I really like. So that they're all slightly different. All the mantras that you can use have a different effect. So Amara, lovely to see you here. So another mantra is Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. These are Hebrew mantras. So Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh means something about God is holy, or something like that. Something about God and holiness, something like that. So something very beautiful. So again, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh creates a beautiful protective light energy around you. These are very high vibration mantras, and it helps to really clear any lower energies from the field. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh is a very, very helpful mantra too. So there are three. I'll just recommend and find some links for to share in the group for anyone that's interested. I'll share them under the video. Wonderful. So yeah, they're the things I've been finding really helpful this week to assist with sensitivity. And I've had such a big shift with the practices that I've been doing to really step back from things emotionally. That's taken a lot of work for me because I'm a very feeling sensitive person, and just starting to, I realize the more that I just detach and step back a bit emotionally, I'm so much clearer and I can do my work better, I can function better and, you know, help people better when I really just step back a bit. I can see what's going on and be my own energy. So I've shared some ways to help with stepping back. Okay, so now I wanted to do the Divine Love activation. So I think we'll do that in the Akashic Records. Seeing this is an Akashic Records group, we could do it a different way, but let's do a guided experience of this divine love activation and energy that I've been working with all week, and it's been so healing for me. Yeah, and as a sensitive person, it's really been as I mentioned, working with divine love in this way has really been recalibrating my brain and my nervous system, because it's actually stressful to be so sensitive and have, for me it's been stressful to be so sensitive and have so much information just coming in all the time. It's a bit overload. So it's been so healing to be retraining my nervous system and recalibrating my nervous system right back, and my brain right back to in the womb when I created this pattern, and probably a long time before that too, with the oversensitivity and not thinking. The pattern is that I thought I couldn't do anything about being so sensitive and just being, you know, sometimes overwhelmed by so much information input and overload. So I realized I can do things about it, and other than just shielding myself, I can really work with the divine love energy and recalibrate my whole system and brain and create new pathways in the brain. So divine love is one of the highest vibration energies, and with divine love you can actually transmute any negative energies, any lower energies, just by that love vibration. So this is a beautiful thing too. So we spoke about cords, so if people are sending cords unintentionally and just that, you know, you're cutting cords and things, when you're working with the divine love energy, people are just going to experience, when people are connecting into your field, they're just going to experience the love, yeah. So if you're in a place where you can listen to this now and you're not driving, so please don't listen to this if you're driving, because I like to do quite deep guided experiences, and that's not okay if you're driving, even to just listen to, because it'll alter the pattern of your brain into alpha. Oh, lovely to see you here, Seema. So the type of guided experiences I do alter your brain state into alpha or even theta, into a much slower pattern, which makes you less alert for something like driving. So if you're driving, please do listen to this later. If not, get comfortable, and you'd like to do this, please get comfortable and relaxed. And I'm looking forward to this too, because whenever I share, I've been working with this all week and it's been very deeply healing for me, and I wanted to share this and really deepen that into that experience and share that with everyone. So we're going to open into the Akashic Records and activate this beautiful divine love energy, which is particularly to just learn how to So when we do this in the activation, the idea is that then you can do that yourself. We're creating something that you can just reactivate yourself. You can do that just with a thought. You can just reactivate that yourself. Actually, what we can do is, lovely to see you here, Deepka. So we're just going to do a divine love activation. What we can do is actually anchor that. So when we're in the experience, I'll ask you to just put your thumb and forefinger together and anchor it. So then you can use, during the day, you can just put your thumb and forefinger together and just more easily just tap into that, recreate that divine love energy that we've calibrated into your brain and your nervous system. So we can just practice that. This is actually a really simple NLP technique, which is so powerful. I have done amazing things with the technique of anchoring things into the nervous system and the brain, anchoring feeling states or energy states. We can change, you know, we can change so much from doing this. So we'll bring in the anchor as well. Okay, so if you'd like to imagine sending a grounding cord down into the earth from the base of the spine, imagine wrapping that around a crystal at the core of the earth. Right down into the earth, right down to the core of the earth, and imagine wrapping that grounding cord around a crystal at the core of the earth. So you feel yourself really anchored into the ground, into the earth, into Mother Earth. And setting an intention to release anything down into the earth that you no longer need, any old energies, anything you've been hanging on to, anything you're ready to let go of. Just sending that down into the earth, releasing it. And breathing. I spoke about breathing, so this is a good time to practice. Nice deep breathing, breathing down into the abdomen. Nice full breath, letting the breath all the way out. And as you breathe out, releasing anything down to the earth that you no longer need. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Setting intention for that to continue throughout this guided experience. Just releasing anything you no longer need from your energy field. I'd like you to bring in your connection with Divine Creator, Divine Source, however you understand that. You might like to imagine a stream of white light coming down through the crown, right down through the center of the body, down into the earth. Keeping the breath nice and open, breathing that in, breathing that light and energy down through the crown, right down through the center of the body. And imagine opening that out. So as you just feel yourself being held in that divine light and energy, and everything in the field coming into alignment. I'd like you to imagine just washing your heart through with divine love, with pink, just soft pink light and energy, just washing that through your heart and just breathing into your heart. Breathing into your heart. As if you're just softening and opening into your heart energy, your heart space. Just allowing that divine love energy to just wash through your heart and your heart space. And just deepening into that. Feeling that soft pink divine love energy just washing through, washing away any old energies, washing away any emotional hurt or pain, anything you've been holding in your heart. From that place, just opening, imagine that soft pink energy, just with your breath, just imagine expanding that all around you. As if you're just opening, breathing that energy out from the heart. Divine love energy from your heart. Opening that out. Just expanding that from your heart. So just gradually expanding out all around you. Just in your own time, feeling that just expanding in a circle around the heart that just starts to expand out. That expanding and just a circle of divine love energy, pink energy, just expanding, filling up your whole energy field with this divine love energy. And from that place, continuing to allow that to expand and open, I'm just going to fully open into the Akashic records. Opening into the love, light and wisdom of the Akasha that's all around us, interpenetrating with the physical and non-physical reality, letting the doors of awareness open to receive the love, light and wisdom of the Akasha. Calling down the temples of love, light and wisdom of the Akasha to be here now. Calling in the Akashic Lords, Masters, Teachers, Guardians and Guides. Calling in my personal team of guides, guardians, teachers and angels. I'm just opening the Akasha. Fully opening into that energy. So you just feel yourself surrounded and held in that sacred energy of the Akasha. I often cough as my body just clears energy. Just feeling that energy shift as the Akashic energy comes down all around you. So we're just going to energize this activation and take that to a high vibrational level, working in the Akashic energy. I just can feel that energy of the Akashic records coming down all around. That's it. Now opening the record for activating divine love to transmute, activating a circle of divine love to transmute all negative energy, raise the vibration and shift the energy to activate divine love energy in the brain, in the nervous system, for healing and cleansing and transmuting any negative energy. You're just feeling yourself held in this circle of divine love energy. Continue to breathe that out and opening that out from the heart. And then just feel here in the Akashic energy, really just calling in divine love, calling in all the frequencies, the highest frequencies of divine love energy. And just letting that fill up your energy. Activate that divine love in every cell, in every particle in your body. The divine love activation. We're activating that in every cell, every particle. So the cells, divine love is everything. Consciousness is made of divine love. We're waking that up, causing the cells to, activating that, to remember divine love in every cell, in every particle. Just feeling that pink energy just washing all around you. You just feel it surrounding you, and just it's moving. That divine love energy is just moving, flowing all around you, above the head, around the body. It's just like circling and swirling, cleansing, transmuting. It's active energy. It's transmuting any lower energies, any negative energies. We're creating an activation with divine love energy for cleansing and transmuting. Feeling yourself held in that, bathing in that, surrounded by that. Just that divine love energy just washing through you, around you. Setting an intention for that to continue. Activated by your free will and choice to that divine love activation continue, and that you can activate that at any time by just bringing your thumb and forefinger together, doing that now, and just anchoring that divine love energy into every cell, into your body. Just calibrating that now, letting that just calibrate. We're going to use a dial. I spoke about a dial before. Just imagine a dial. You have a dial with numbers all around it. You can just turn this up, turning the divine love energy up to its optimum, highest level. Feeling that increase in the energy surrounding you, flowing through you and around you. Just turning that dial up. So we're really anchoring that in its fullest, highest, optimum intensity. Now, good. And just letting that go. And knowing that any time you bring your thumb and forefinger together, that you can just choose to activate that divine love energy. Now, with anchoring, if you repeat it a few times a day, it will keep working. And if you don't repeat it, it'll just dissipate. Yeah, so if you'd like to continue the activation, you can obviously re-listen to it. You can also just imagine that for a few minutes and just breathe and imagine that divine love energy just swirling around you and through you. Connect with your heart. You might like to start with connecting with your heart and just imagine that divine love energy just washing through your heart and just expanding out from your heart. Just feeling that washing through the field, through your energy and around you. Feeling that just washing through every cell, every particle in your energy and field, every atom and molecule is just being bathed in divine love. How healing and cleansing that is. How that lifts your energy to a higher vibration. So if you're wanting to anchor that, just do that a few times a day to keep that, and the more that you visualize that and feel that at the same time. And you might everyone's different. So just notice how the divine love energy feels for you. Does it have a sensation in your body? Is it there a tingling? I'm feeling just like light, like turning on a very bright light, but it's pink. So is there a sensation? Is there a visual for you? Is there even a taste? Does divine love have a taste or a texture? Just really feeling this. For me, it's mostly just feeling and sensing it and seeing it, but everyone's different. Is there a texture, a taste, a smell even? Some people have a smell. You might even smell rose oil, rose petals, rose fragrance, for example. You might see pink, or I'm just seeing a lot of light, but with pink through it. Okay, just noticing the more of your senses you use, the more effective and powerful things are. And then just bringing your thumb and forefinger together with all of that sensory input. So you really just anchor that in. Our anchors are very powerful when you, especially those done in group situations, created in a group situation, in a high energy and high vibration, and you can just reactivate those for as long as you want to keep working with this energy. It just will help you straight away as soon as you bring the thumb and forefinger together to just remember that, because it anchors it into your brain and your body. So it's like a cell memory, a brain memory, a body memory of divine love. So you can just put your thumb and forefinger together. If you do that a few times a day for the next, for the next while, and you remember, the anchor becomes stronger until you've really built that into your body and your energy. So it's very easy to access that again. And just notice how that feels. It feels very light for me. It feels very soothing and soft and comforting. So it's like just being, it's very angelic. Like I'm actually feeling and seeing angel feathers, like angel feathers, angel wings, just like being brushed by feathers. I see a feather, a white feather. It's like feathers, soft. Even that feeling like if you were sleeping on a soft feather bed or feather pillow, so soft and deeply relaxing and nourishing. That's the feeling of being bathed in divine love energy for me. What a beautiful activation. Okay. So peaceful. So light. It really calms down the whole nervous system. And if you did want to use some rose oil, the more of your senses that you use can really help to anchor this in and access it more easily. You could actually put some rose oil on to activate this. Especially if you tie that in with doing the anchor and feeling and visualizing this. Wonderful. Wow. Beautiful energy. It's so lovely to do group activations. Thank you everyone for joining this. So powerful. I'm just letting that really integrate and anchor in for a few moments, and then we'll finish up. What a beautiful vibration when we come together and share like this. Everyone's contributing their energy and their intention. So much high vibration and consciousness when we come together intentionally. So supportive. Really feel the presence of the angels. Beautiful. Okay, so thank you. It's coming back now. Fully feeling yourself just coming back fully into your body. Feet on the ground, taking a nice deep breath. I'm going to give thanks to the guides, guardians, teachers, masters and angels, all those who have assisted us today. Thank you for all the blessings, all the divine energy. Just feel like we're just surrounded by angels and beautiful spiritual beings, just bringing that energy of love in and a light, divine light with a love emanation, something like that. Very white and pink is how I've seen it. So, breathing back into existence, the door between worlds. Just closing the Akashic records. Closing and sealing them. I've been getting that it's very important, especially working like this, to just close and seal the records. Beautiful. Thank you. So thank you so much for joining me. That was just so beautiful. It's really, I've been working with this for a few days now, and that's really deepened my experience of working with that divine love energy too. Beautiful. So healing. It's so deeply healing and soothing. Wonderful. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me, and both live or if you're listening to this at another time. So I'm going to finish up now, and thank you. Beautiful to come together and share like this. So just making sure you're fully back in the room. It was quite deep, and just make sure you're grounded. You might like to have a cup of tea. You know, just make sure you're really grounded before you drive or do anything like that. You're welcome, Amara. Hope you enjoyed that. It just feels such a blessing to come together and share like this. You know, here we are all over the world, and we can just come together and share together in the experience, as if we're just sitting in a circle together and just sharing. It's really such a beautiful way of coming together and just uplifting our energy and consciousness. You're welcome. You're welcome. So beautiful. And I really love this group and doing sharing videos in this group, because everyone's vibration is so high and so beautiful, and you all just contribute to the energy that we create together. It's very beautiful and very sacred and special. So thank you so much for all being so beautiful and bringing so much love and high vibration and consciousness, so we can just come together and share. And really, I think this is so supportive and so uplifting for us all to come together just for a little while and share the energy and, you know, just be nourished and supported in community. In this technological way we can do this, connecting all over the world. You know, here we are. I mean, thank Rajnita's in Seema in India, Joanna's in Poland, I think, at the moment, and we have Lynn in Australia, Samina in Australia, I think, and I don't know where everyone is, but just saying people that Amara, did I say Amara, thanks, in Pakistan, and So here we are, all coming together. Charlene is in Australia too, and I'm here in Australia. I don't know, some new people have joined. I'm not sure where you are in the world. I'm sure I'll get to know you and learn where you are too. So thank you so much for joining. Have a beautiful day or evening, wherever you are, and I'd love to hear about how you found that, and it's certainly lovely to share with you. Thank you. So welcome.